بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Tonight inshallah we continue from الدروس المهمة لعامة الأمة, important lessons for every Muslim by Shaykh bin Baz rahimahullah, with the explanation by Shaykh abdur-razzaq al-Abbad hafidhahullah. And we start at Dars al-Ashir, the Sunnah al-Salat. The 10th Dars lesson here is the Sunnah. What is the Sunnah in the Salat? As we already finished the conditions for the Salat, those things that come before the Salat. For example, the waqt is time for the Salat, or al-tahara, that a person has wudu, the conditions before a person stands to pray. And then we did arkan as-salat, the pillars of the salat, which were those things that at no time can be left off. They can't be forgotten. They can't be intentionally left off at no time. And if a person does leave off one of the pillars, then they have to complete that pillar in order for the salat to be correct. And they also have to make the sujood, the prostration, for forgetting, and that they can't intentionally leave off a pillar. And then we did the obligations for the prayer, those things that are obligatory, which were things that possibly, if a person forgets them, the salat can still be correct without going back and fixing it. But they have to make the 2 prostrations at the end before forgetting or leaving them off. They can't intentionally leave them off. Something that's obligatory, they can't intentionally leave it off. Like the first tashahhud, the first sitting for the tashahhud, it can't be intentionally left off. But if a person forgets, they're praying dhuhr or isha, and they pray 2 rak'ah, and after the 2nd rak'ah they stand right up for the 3rd and they forget the tashahhud, they can fix that salat without going back to that tashahhud, but they have to make the sujood, the prostration for forgetfulness, at the end. Tonight we start with the sunnah, those things are considered to be sunnah in the salat, meaning if a person intentionally didn't do one of these things, the salat is still valid. Not like the pillar. If a person intentionally said, for example, they intentionally didn't make ruku' in the 2nd rak'ah. They say, I'm getting tired, I'm going to just go from qiyam and go straight to sajda, and they didn't make ruku'. Intentionally, the salat is invalid. Right? Here, these things, if a person intentionally didn't do one of them, it doesn't invalidate the prayer. And they don't have to make the sujood at the end. They don't have to make the prostration at the end if they intentionally leave it off or if they forget to leave it off. So, he comes with taqreeban about 18, if I'm not mistaken, or a little more than 18, 19 or so. I'll show you, maybe 20 or more. طيب. So he says in the beginning, the sharh and the explanation, the book itself. We're going to go through the actual book itself as we go through the explanation. So he says, firstly, he's talking about after talking about the shurut, the conditions, and the pillars, and those things that are obligatory. He says now he brings those things that are considered the sunnah. What is the sunnah in the salat? التي ليست بركن ولا واجب. They're not from the pillars and they're not from the obligatory things. They don't fall into either one of those previous categories. There's another category by itself. So now if we look at it, we have 4 categories connected to the salat. The shurut, the conditions before the salat. Then we had the pillars, which are in the salat, the 2nd category. Then we had the obligatory things, which are in the salat. That's the 3rd. And now this 4th category are those things which are considered to be the sunnah or the sunnah in the salat. And he says he mentioned this تنبيها منه رحمه الله إلى أهمية عناية المسلم بهذه السنن ورعايته لها, to show the importance of these sunnahs, I will say, acts of sunnah in the salat. And he didn't mention these. He mentioned these for a reason. وأن يحرص على أن لا يفرط في شيء منها, so that a person that doesn't become negligent in leaving off the sunnah when praying. As the point I mentioned that these things are sunnah, not for the point of saying that's only sunnah, I don't have to do that, my prayer is still valid. Not to say, well, that's only sunnah, but my prayer is still valid, so I'm not doing it. Not to intentionally leave off the sunnah. Even though if a person did, the salat is still valid, but they lose the reward of practicing the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ in the salat. And he said, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. He said, pray as you have seen me pray. طيب. So he says, ولا يقول هذه السنة مستحينا. A person shouldn't say, this is sunnah, yani, meaning belittling it. This is sunnah, that's only sunnah. You don't have to do all that. You don't have to do all of that. That's just sunnah. You don't have to do that. Right? He said the person shouldn't look at it like this. بل عليه أن يحرص على أن يعتني بها. But the Muslim should try his best to implement the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, the way that he prayed, and to stay away from trying to intentionally leave off the sunnah. فإن من تركها رغبة عنها فهذا يخشى عليه أن يكون له حظ ونصيب من قول النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام من رغب عن سنتي فليس مني. He said for a person who, not lazy, let's say he's not being lazy, but he says, I don't want to practice the sunnah. Yeah, I don't want any parts of that. Right? He said, we fear that this person may fall under the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. We're not talking about the person now who may be rushing the salat and they forget some of the sunnah. Right? Or they say, I'm just not going to do that sunnah, this salat. The one who, I don't want any parts of the sunnah in my salat. But leave all of that off and just do what's in the Quran, for example. Right? He said the problem with that is a person could fall under the hadith. When the Prophet ﷺ said, this hadith is in Bukhari and in Muslim, من رغب عن سنتي فليس مني. Whoever desires or has no desire for my sunnah, he is not from me. He is not from me, and that can be interpreted numerous ways. Importance being, the importance of mentioning these sunnah in the salat is for a person to get the reward for praying like the Prophet ﷺ. And then he says, لكن إذا تركها ليس رغبة عنها وإنما لعدم النشاط على الفعل ونحوه. If a person didn't do one of these things just out of laziness, right? فإنه لا يكون آثما بذلك. Then he's not falling into any type of sin by leaving off one of these things out of laziness or negligence. But لكن يفوته أجرها وثوابها. But what he does miss out on is the reward for praying like the Prophet ﷺ. That reward with Allah for praying like the Nabi ﷺ. When a person leaves off these things, he misses that reward. And he says, وَأَنَّ الْعَبْدَ كُلَّمَا عَظُمَ حَظُّهُ فِي صَلَاتِهِ مِنْ هَذِهِ السُّنَنِ الْمَأْثُورَةِ عَنِ النَّبِيِّ عَلَيْهِ الصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ كَانَ ذَلِكَ أَعْظَمَ فِي أَجْرِ صَلَاتِهِ. He said every time a person practices these things in their prayer, and they strive to stick to these things and practice how the Prophet ﷺ prayed in his salat, it says, كَانَ ذَلِكَ أَعْظَمَ. His reward for that salat is greater, as he's praying closer to the exact prayer of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. طيب هذه السنن المذكورات تنقسم إلى قسمين. What he's going to mention, which are about 19 to 20, they break down into two types of sunnah. Two types of sunnah that he's going to mention. One type is called the sunnah al-qawliya. Sunnah qawliya, which are basically statements in the salat that a person says with the tongue, statements that are from the sunnah. And then we have other type, sunan fi'liyah, actions in the salat that are from the sunnah. So some of these things are statements that we say, some of them are going to be actions that we actually do. And we'll try to make a reference to each one as we go. طيب. قال رحمه الله. First one, he says, ومنها الاستفتاح. الاستفتاح. The opening after the takbiratul ihram. After we make the first takbirah, Allahu Akbar, and enter the salat, there's a dua after that. Not ta'awudhu laha, not ta'awudhu laha, ولا إله غيره. There's a bunch of them, a lot of different du'as. This du'a, or like this, سمي استفتاحا. It's called du'a al-istiftah. لأنه تفتتح به الصلاة, because the salat is began, opened up with the du'a after the takbirah to ihram.